What if the biggest illusion isn't the world in which we live, but the idea that we're separate from it? David, William, Pierce, welcome back. Each week I create a quiz from the tantric studies that I'm personally working through. And in this video I'm going to explore some of this week's teachings, reveal the answers, explain what they mean, but most importantly, explore why they matter in everyday life. This week we'll move on to a rather misunderstood teaching, and that is Maya. Many people hear this word and immediately think illusion. But Tantra offers something different. Rather than saying that the world is an illusion or that it's fake, Tantra invites us into seeing that it's simply the divine expressing itself through infinite possibility. So, let's jump in. Section 1, Maya. Question 1. Is the world an illusion we should try to escape? No, it's not. Tantra sees the world as divine, infinite divinity, consciousness expressing itself through infinite, countless forms. If we believe spirituality is about escaping life, then likelihood is we'll constantly divide the sacred from the ordinary. But Tantra invites us to discover the sacred within the ordinary of life itself. Tantra calls this power Maya, this power of differentiation. Rather than meaning that the world is an illusion or fake, Maya is the divine's ability to express itself, to differentiate itself into countless forms of creation. Imagine white light passing through a prism. The prism doesn't invent color, it simply differentiates it into different wavelengths, revealing the colors that are already within that white light. And likewise, Maya doesn't invent creation, it simply reveals the infinite possibilities that are already present within consciousness. The world isn't something to escape, it's something through which the divine is continually expressing itself. So consider, where have you been treating ordinary life as less sacred than your spiritual practice? Question 2. If everything is one, why are there so many different people and things? Well, it's because unity gets to express itself through diversity without becoming divided. Difference doesn't have to create separation. Really, that's the illusion. Recognizing this changes how we relate not just to ourselves and to others, but to the entire world around us. Imagine an ocean filled with waves. Every wave has a different height, a different shape, a different movement, yet none has ever become separate from the ocean itself. Tantra says Maya works in the same way. It allows the one to appear as many without ever ceasing to be the one. Difference is real, separation is imagined. It's the recognition that the wave was never anything other than the ocean. So consider, where are you mistaking difference for separation? Question 3. How can everything share the same essence while still being completely different? It's because things can differ in form while remaining the same in essence. We often assume unity means sameness. Tantra shows us that genuine unity allows uniqueness to flourish. Imagine a jeweler making a ring and a necklace and a bracelet and other things from pure gold. Each has a different name, a different shape, a different purpose, yet each remains nothing other than gold. Tantra says creation is like this. Every person, tree, animal, planet, all of it differs in form and function, but all share one underlying essence. It's all consciousness. Recognizing the gold doesn't erase the ornament, it simply helps us appreciate both its uniqueness and its source. So consider, where in your life can you appreciate someone's uniqueness while remembering your own deeper connection? Okay, section 2 is on the pure universe. Question 4, where is the divine? Somewhere else or here? Well, according to Tantra, the divine is already present throughout the universe. Many people spend their lives searching for God somewhere beyond ordinary experience. But Tantra invites us to discover the sacred right where we are. The top 5 Tattvas are called the pure universe, but they aren't another place hidden somewhere in space. They describe the ever-present reality that permeates everything. Imagine tuning a radio. The music wasn't created when you found the right station, it was already there. You simply became able to receive it. Likewise, awakening isn't about traveling somewhere divine, it's about recognizing the divinity that's always already present. So consider what changes if the sacred isn't somewhere else, but is already here. Okay, section 3 is in Shuddha Vidya. Question 5, is a mantra simply a phrase we repeat to calm the mind? No. Tantra understands a mantra as a living expression of divine awareness in sound. If we think a mantra is just another meditation technique, we'll miss the depth of what we're actually practicing. Because in Tantra, a mantra isn't merely a collection of words, it's actually seen as a conscious expression of a particular quality of the divine. It is the phonic expression of that divinity. Imagine a musical note. You can't see it, yet the moment it's played, it changes the atmosphere of an entire room. A mantra works similarly. It carries a particular vibration that gradually reshapes the one who repeatedly enters into relationship with it. A mantra isn't simply something to say, it's something you begin to embody. It is the divine expression, the phonic expression of that divinity. So consider, what quality of being are you inviting into your life every time you practice? Question 6, what would change if you saw the world as living energy instead of lifeless matter? Well, you would begin to experience life as dynamic, interconnected, and alive. When we see the world as separate objects, it's easy to feel disconnected. But when we recognize everything as patterns of living energy, connection becomes much easier to experience. The teachings describe someone established in Shuddha Vidya as seeing no static matter at all, only countless patterns of vibration, all sharing one essence. Imagine watching a dance. Your attention isn't on frozen positions, but on continuous movement. Tantra says reality is much the same. Everything is constantly moving, expressing, and transforming, yet all of it arises from the same underlying consciousness. So consider, where have you been seeing life as fixed instead of alive and continually unfolding? Okay, question 4 is on Ishvara. Question 7. Did I say question 4 or section 4? Section 4 is Ishvara. Question 7. Why do different religions describe God in different ways? Well, because the same divine reality can be experienced and expressed through many different forms. Instead of arguing over which image of God is correct, we can begin appreciating the different ways people relate to the same mystery. Tantra calls this level Ishvara, the personal expression of God. Whether someone says Krishna, Allah, Yahweh, or any other sacred name, each points towards a relationship with the divine expressed through particular qualities. It's a little like one person being a father, a friend, a teacher, and a son all at the same time. It's different relationships revealing different aspects of the same person. Likewise, different traditions reveal different aspects of the same divine reality. So consider, how can you allow someone else's path to reveal another facet of the same truth? Question 8. If God already exists, why create a universe at all? Well, because creation is the divine expressing itself in its own infinite potential. Life no longer appears to be an accident or a mistake, but a creative expression filled with meaning when viewed this way. The teachings describe Ishvara as holding the subtle blueprint for creation before the universe unfolds. So imagine an architect carrying a complete design of a cathedral before a single brick has been laid. The building doesn't appear randomly, it unfolds from an underlying vision. Likewise, Tantra gets to teach that creation unfolds from divine intelligence that is expressing itself through the creation of the universe. So consider, what if your life is unfolding with more intelligence than you're currently recognizing? What would change if that were true? Question 9. How does the one become the many without losing its unity? Well, it does so by expressing itself through countless forms while remaining the same underlying reality. And this changes how we see ourselves. We stop viewing ourselves as isolated individuals and begin recognizing ourselves as unique expressions of something much greater. From Ishvara comes the pattern that allows creation to unfold through Maya into the diversity of life. Yet throughout that unfolding, nothing leaves the divine. Just as every wave remains the ocean, every being remains an expression of consciousness. Diversity appears, but unity is never lost. So consider, how might your relationships change if every person you met was another expression of that one consciousness? Question 10. If we're all expressions of the same divine reality, why does that matter in everyday life? Well, if we're all expressions of the same divine reality, the way we see each other shapes the way we treat each other and the way we experience ourselves. When we believe we're separate, comparison, fear, and conflict come naturally. But when we recognize a shared essence beneath our differences, compassion becomes a much more natural response. This week's teachings move from Maya, the divine expressing itself as many, through Shuddha Vidya, seeing reality as living vibration, to Ishvara, the personal face of the divine that lovingly participates in creation. Together they point towards one simple recognition. The forms of life are many, but their essence is one. Tantra doesn't ask us to ignore differences. It asks us to remember the deeper unity that allows those differences to actually exist. If every person is another expression of the same consciousness, then every interaction becomes an opportunity to relate not just to someone's personality, but to the divine expressing itself through that unique form. Tantra doesn't ask us to ignore differences. It asks us to remember what connects us beneath them. So consider, where this week can you consciously remember that difference is real, but separation is imagined? Perhaps the biggest shift this week is redefining what spirituality is. It's not escaping the world or pretending difference doesn't exist. It's not rejecting the beauty of individuality, but instead inviting us to recognize that every person, every experience, and every moment is another way that the divine is exploring itself. Like different ornaments made from the same gold, or countless waves that belong to the one ocean, or white light expressing itself through every color of the rainbow, difference is real. It's separation that is appearance. And perhaps the next time you find yourself judging another person or feeling isolated or believing you're somehow disconnected from life, see that as an invitation to pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I seeing only the form, or am I also remembering the essence? Because according to Tantra, awakening isn't about becoming someone else. It's about recognizing what has always been true. If you'd like to see what this week's teachings look like in real life rather than simply understanding them intellectually, I'll link at the end of this video this week's newsletter where I share how this study revealed itself through my own lived experience. And if you're ready to apply these teachings to your own life, you can join Beyond the Mat. It's a monthly online free gathering where we get to explore these ideas and practical application. Or you can book a free breakthrough call where we can explore one-on-one a repeating story, emotion or pattern that's been keeping you stuck, and find some illumination and clarity around the relationships in your life. If one or more of these questions has stayed with you, then please let me know in the comments, because I'd love to hear what's landed most for you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next transmission. Cheers.